Hello friends, I welcome you to my YouTube channel The Amar Naik, and today I am going to initiate science videos. Well, I am going to explain my own research through these videos. I have published on JT Journal, which is the biggest journal in India. This journal has impact score of 7.8 here in India. Also, this journal is known widely in international countries. So the results I gave through my paper where I explained about the NTF3 theory, which is also my own theory I am going to elaborate here. So without further ado, let's dive right in and get started. So you can notice a circle here and there are two axes here too. This vertical axis you see here is the axis of time flow axis, and this horizontal axis you see here is the axis of space flow axis. So when you travel in this horizontal axis, that means you are traveling either through space or the space travels through you. You flow through the space either when you travel through the space. And do you know when space travels through you? When you are in the vicinity of a massive celestial object, then the space actively flows through you. So, this theory of space flow towards the massive celestial objects I have published already through my research paper. I am going to share the link in the description down below so you can find it later. So, meaning of this axis is either you are traveling through space or space travels through you towards the matter, whereas meaning of this axis is time flow. So you already know that in this universe there are generally three axes, x, y and z, that is height, width and length. So what I have done here, I have collapsed all three axes into one, because you already know that when you travel in a single dimension, that is x, then you travel 0 in other two axes. So I have considered this single axis x as space flow axis, and the fourth dimension here is actually time flow axis. You all already know that there are four dimensions in space-time continuum, x, y, z and time. So the time dimension will remain as it is here. You know about time dimension, time only flows in a single dimension, 1 second per second. So what I have done here, on this time flow axis you can see here a circle where it is intersecting this time flow axis. I have considered this point of intersection as 1 second. And on this space flow axis where this circle is intersecting, I have considered 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. So why I have draw a circle here? I wanted to intersect the circles to all the lines so that all the lines will be equidistant from the center of the circle. So the length of all these lines will remain same as the axis of time flow axis. So I have drawn a maximum possible circle here on both the axes, considering this as the center. First, we are going to consider that you are flowing through only time. That is, you are at the rest and you are flowing only through the time. Then you are not going to travel through space flow axis. You are going to travel only through time flow axis, 1 second per second when you are at rest. Once you start travel in space at 20% of speed of light, then your line starts to tilt towards the space flow axis. Now you can notice that where this line of 20% of speed of light is intersecting at the circle, when we draw a perpendicular from this point of intersection to the time flow axis, then we can see here comparatively to the when you are at rest, when you are traveling at the 20% of speed of light, then you are taking less than 1 second. That means time dilation happened here. Beyond this, when you increase your speed to 50% of speed of light and draw a perpendicular on time flow axis, you can notice a difference between these two distances increases to about 25%. So speed of time flow decreases to 0.75 seconds here. Beyond this, when you will increase your speed to about 75% of speed of light and draw a perpendicular on the time flow axis, then you can see a whopping difference here of about 50% here. So someone who is traveling at the speed of 75% of speed of light, then his time flow gets as low as 50% less than the original one. Now if you consider that you are traveling at 90% of speed of light and draw a perpendicular on time flow axis, then the difference becomes very much huge. So this becomes about 0.6 or 0.7 seconds here. So when 1 second is passing here, here only 0.6 or 0.7 seconds are passing for the person who is traveling at 90% of speed of light. When you will start traveling at 100% of speed of light, that means you are traveling at universal speed limit, that is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. That means you are going to travel in only this axis, that is space flow axis, and you are not going to travel in the time flow axis. That means you can see a already drawn perpendicular here on the time flow axis. Time will stop passing for you, respective to others who are either at rest, either are traveling at 20% of speed of light, either of traveling at 50% or 70% of speed of light. Your time will get halt here. So there is a limit of 3 into 10 raised to 8 meters per second, the speed at which you can travel at most in each universe. And when you are at rest, then your time will pass at the maximum speed possible in this universe. Means you are at zero gravity or at complete rest. If you consider that you are at a Lagrange L1 point where gravity is about zero, then your time will pass at maximum possible speed. There is also a limit. This is the maximum possible limit for passing of time. If we are on Earth, then time is not passing through a maximum possible limit because we are in a gravitational acceleration, because we are not in a zero gravity. When we will go in an empty space or we are not at all traveling, then we travel in this time flow axis, and when we will travel at the universal speed limit, which is the maximum speed allowed, then we will stop traveling in the time flow axis. That means our time will get stopped. So this was my theory called NTF3 theory, Naik's temporal frame field factor theory. So when you will flow through time flow axis, time flow will become 1 and space flow will become 0, and when you will flow through space flow axis, then space flow will become 1 and time flow will become 0. So at the black hole, Einstein once said there is a singularity, but according to this theory, there is no any singularity at the core of the black hole. So there is a limit at which the maximum space can flow towards the matter. Time will halt at the surface of the black hole. When you will travel through the space flow axis, then time will stop for you, and where there is no gravity, then the time will flow at the maximum possible speed. So in my research paper, that is Amar's modified agile river model theory, this is how I have proved that singularity doesn't exist. This theory was the final conclusion of that research paper, but I have started from the flow of space like a river. So the meaning of gravity doesn't like the earth is attracting you towards itself, space is flowing through you and you are getting drifted in this flow towards the earth, and the surface of the earth is stopping you from falling further. The analogy is like a flowing river. There is a log of wood which is stopping you from drifting further in the flow of river. The more you are heavier, then more force will require to stop you from drifting in the river from that log of wood. If you are of 80 kg, then the log will take less force to stop you, and if you are of 1000 kg, then the log of wood would have to exert more force to stop you from drifting in the river. And this is how the actually gravity works. Let me know how you like this video, and let me know in the comments that have you changed your perspective towards gravity or not. So let's meet in the another video. Bye bye and take care. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra.